This is Curtis coming at you from Ace Per Head Studios. Once again, going to do some football talk. Going to focus on my Miami Dolphins. Got a long film study breaking down just about every play of the offense to try to get a feel of the foundation of what the 2021 Dolphins offense is about. And it's just the foundation. It's the first couple of bricks. We're going to take a deep look into the film. But first, I want to do a little preamble, quick. This is a quote from Bill Walsh. I believe it's a quote. I've heard from many places it was. One place I read it, I said it might have been fictitious. But however you slice it, there's wisdom behind it and truth behind it. And his quote was that Joe Montana perfected his system, but Dan Marino could play in any system. And that is a truism because the majority of quarterbacks that come into the NFL and start, they're products of their system and their framework. It's not a bad thing. But when you take a quarterback and his skill set and his abilities and you mesh it with a system and a surrounding group of players that promote and support that skill set and those talents, that's how you get elevation and high level of success. Now, like I said, some quarterbacks, you could put them in any system. But most quarterbacks, the vast majority, need the proper framework and proper system in order to promote their skills. Only the elite of the elite are beyond systems, beyond that framework. And we have to understand, Tua is not Dan Marino. He's not in that same physical class. He doesn't have the same physical talents. This doesn't mean, though, that he can't win a Super Bowl, which Marino couldn't. It doesn't mean that he can't win more playoffs than Dan Marino. It doesn't mean that he can't bring more glory to the Miami Dolphins than Dan Marino. And as Fin fans, we went through this with our last big quarterback, Ryan Tannehill. We've had the same conversations. He sucks. No, it's everything around him. No, he sucks. It's everything around him. Ultimately, we found out when he went to Tennessee that given the right framework, he can be highly successful. And I think it's the same thing with Tua. We have to ask ourselves, first we have to realize, again, he's not Dan Marino. We can't expect in year two to have him like Dan Marino's record-breaking year two. But we have to ask first ourselves, is the framework, the design, really promoting Tua's skill set and talents? And once that happens, then we can say, hey, does it reach high enough level? But until we get to that point, it's really about so much more than Tua. It takes 11 for an offensive play to be successful. Now, it's not to say that Tua is not responsible. It's not to say he is responsible. Some people want to say his career is over already. Some people want to say it's everybody else's fault and he's great. Those are extremes. They might be right, but it's very difficult to have an accurate evaluation with those extremes. So remember, everything's new. Two new OCs working together, new playbook. Tua was coming off a very rough year where his body wasn't healthy, new playbook, new players around him. Eichenberg was starting at left tackle. Dieter was starting at center. Kinley was playing right guard last year, a little bit of one game at left guard, but now he started at left guard. Hunt was right tackle. Now he was right guard. Then you had Waddle, who Tua's got a relationship with, but he's still new to the system. Albert hasn't played in years. He hasn't played with Tua. All these new parts. So we need patience. We need time. Not, like 17 years or whatever, but more than one game, a lot more than one game. So this film will be chapter one of a library that we can string together and see consistency. We can see repetition of the good and bad so we can really get an accurate evaluation. Now, I'm going to do some quick stats. In 11 personnel, which was 3 wide receivers, last week, Miami ran it 48% of the time with 25 plays. The NFL that week ran it 57% of the time, so we ran it less than most NFL teams. Our success rate was 36%. The average NFL success rate was 50%. So we ran it less than the rest of the NFL, and we were less successful than the rest of the NFL. But in more traditional styles, in the 12 personnel, which is either 2 tight ends and 1 running back, or 2 running backs and 1 tight end, we ran that 37% of the time, which is 19 plays. NFL had run it 25% of the time, so we ran it 12% more. But we had an amazing 74% success rate in 12 personnel, where the rest of the NFL only had 51%. Now, some of that was a quarterback sneak, some of that was the wildcat, so it's a little bloated, but it still says this was our more successful look. And then we go to the rushes. Remember, that first drive was filled with running. But then after that, the entire game, we had 23 rushes. 1 quarterback sneak, 3 wildcat plays, 4 wildcat plays, and then 3 or 4 runs at the end. We really only rushed the ball 13 or 14 times, and 4 of those probably were in the first drive. So it shows that there is a level of success. There is certain styles that we're finding success with. And the question is, I didn't see anything in the film that was definitive for good and bad, okay? Everything looked fixable to me. The question I have is, when will it be fixed? Will it be fixed? These are the 2 questions I have. And there was elements of success. And they're going to go through, the staff's going to go through this week and then look at it. And we have to be patient for that. They're going to get rid of the bad and keep the good. So let's take a look at the tape. It's not my best editing job. It was a lot of tape to cut. And I was kind of doing it quick. I fell behind with a lot of tape that I was putting out this week. So I do apologize. It's a little dicey. It's a little not exactly what I want, but I think I did a pretty good job considering the time constraints and the amount I'm putting forth. So let's take a look at it and see what we see. All right, so this opens up, great pass to Waddle. Waddle, really showed me that he could be something special, man. I just love the physicality and the aggressiveness of this kid. Really, really good job. I'm starting to really be impressed with him. They come back, get a little run here. It doesn't really go anywhere. Davis, it's not his fault. He's not supposed to. He's just supposed to shield that block. But, Gaskin still picked up a couple. Nice, 1 read. It's a 1 read here. But notice the twist on Tua is coming back. That mechanical twist on his throwing motion. The handoff, and Kinley does a really good job on a block. I got to reassess my evaluation initially. Great run by Gaskin. Very impressive. Very impressive. Another handoff. Blocking doesn't really go great, but still, Gaskin picks up 2 or 3. But notice the run, there's lots of runs. Play action, I like him under center doing play action. Nice little drop off there to the tight end. I think he's better served as an under center quarterback for now with a good running game than he is as RPO or shotgun. That's just my opinion. He just seems to be so much more successful from a running focus standpoint and from under center. No, the handoff. Now, Gaskin misses the hole. The hole is right there. This is the worst run I've seen of him since he started. That was a big, big hole. It would have been a nice run. Little play action. I like this design. They got the numbers, good play design. Savin Ahmed really is just, the guy's turning into something really pretty good. Gaskin comes back and makes amends. Look at this, beautiful. That's classic right there. Classic running back, man. I love that beautiful run. But now everything's been set up. They're focusing on Gaskin. They respect them. And this is where Tua can make hay as a mobile quarterback. He does not have the speed to do it on his own. All right, so, but then notice the difference between this drive and every other one. So they're doing the RPO, and you'll say, oh, man, Kinley. My first reaction is, oh, Kinley let the pressure in. But watch here. It's RPO. He's got to focus on the D lineman. Once he sees that D lineman do the inside stunt like that, he's got to know the numbers to the run game. But his eyes are totally focused on Gesicki, and that should have been the handoff. That would have been successful with the handoff. This is a real nice play, but we're here to evaluate. Tua did a good job reading, pretty decent job delivery, but I want to take a note of something you're going to see from him. Watch his drop back. He's supposed to drop straight back down the line of the right hash. Instead, he's drifting over almost a yard, drives on the ball. It's a pretty decent drive. I really liked his mechanics as far as the drive. He didn't do the twist, but the ball does arrive behind, and you can see Parker makes a phenomenal catch. Parker needs to start getting his due, you know. But we see how far he drifts. Pretty good drive on it, you know. Pretty good drive. That's some of his better mechanics on the day as far as throwing the football, not really using his arm but his body to drive. Now play action. I'm going to stop the film. All right, so the protection is pretty good, but his eyes need to be straight down the line and watching the safety. This is cover 3. Where's the safety go? And he's got to go the other way. So if he's not moving, if he's just planted and reading, he should know that Waddle is doing in deep post. Put that ball up. He's supposedly one of the fastest guys in the NFL. You put that ball up and right down the middle of the field, let him go get that football. Instead, he's bouncing around a lot, and then he drives. Look at the twist, the heavy, heavy twist. I know the pressure's coming, but watch what this is. Waddle is like open. That was a big play that was left on the table. So RPO again. And all right, you'll say deflection, whatever. But in the NFL, you cannot predetermine your reads. You've got to read the situation. So 31 is following Waddle. That means it's man. If it's man, that's his man. So Tua needs to get his eyes to the left because his man is never going to get there in time. He's wide open. Instead, he's just laser locked on Parker. He's pre-reading and predetermining, and you really can't do that. Got to read the safety. You can't read the receiver, you know, or else if you read just the receiver, that means you're tunnel vision. All right, so Tua looks good. He drops back straight down the line, almost straight down the line, plants a little too much twist, and now Waddle's going to get blamed for this, but if you watch it here, you'll see right here, that's not an easy catch. That should have been an easy pitch and catch, but Tua missed on that one. And to come back, more shotgun. Where's the run? Where's the running game? All right, so really nobody's open here. I'm not really too crazy on, like I did a study on the Patriots play designs, and I just felt like there was so much more conducive for success for the quarterback between the running game, the play action off the running game, the way the routes were set up and designed. So this is just like a one read option, and it's dead. The only reason it's not is because Gaskin makes a nice play. Real nice play by Gaskin. Again, the run, and you're going to say, oh, the run block sucks. But look at the design. You're having Dieter come from the center position and pull to get a guy 3 yards down the field, a linebacker. The DT just basically double gaps it by slowing him off, get his get off, and he's never getting there. And he's the one who makes the play. There's just no adjustment to line of scrimmage, or, you know, just terrible play call to the wrong defense, you know. That's on this one, you know, you get a little quick pressure from Kinley and Davis. What he does after this is partly very good and partly very bad. And you get to see like one of his great traits and one of the concerns. All right, and he's getting concerned with Kinley letting the pressure in, and then, you know, that's the first primary concern. And then you got Davis, a little pressure over there. Okay, fine. So he gets out. Now, part of this is amazing. Watch him make this guy miss. Boom, reset and drops it, which is impressive. But then, see, notice how he's twisting. Gesicki's open, but because he's twisting and he doesn't have the lower body power, or he's not trusting his lower body yet, the drive isn't there, and he's throwing with his arm, and look where this ball goes. Very dangerous. Okay, so again, you know, this is a very good play. And notice his drive is pretty good, but watch his drive through. See how he's drifting back? When you're supposed to be driving forward. Your body's supposed to be not falling back when you let go of the ball. You never see that. So Waddle is over the top big time. He's got a step. You put the ball in front, and that's a bigger play. That was a nice, it worked out. Tua is very good at throwing short behind. That's one of the things he does, but I don't know if he meant to do it on this one. But that was nice read and pretty nice throw, but could have been better. All right, so they're doing the RPO thing again. But you see, this is another thing why I don't think they're taking care of him. Because you do the RPO and you got one read. That's it. One read. Why isn't there like a secondary read off that? So he has another option. All right, so the coverage is here, and Gaskin does a nice little route. Tua reads it pretty well, throws pretty decent anticipation. But notice, you see again, he's throwing it and he's drifting. His body's not driving. And look where the ball goes. He's got to drop. If it hit him in stride, that would have been a first down. He could have turned it upfield. But then because the ball's short like that, then they got to go to the wildcat or the quarterback sneak. They do some wildcats after that. Drops back. Nice drop back this time, but now he's drifting to the left. Now he's drifting to the left. And, well, look, you see, he's throwing, twisting, and falling back. And where does the ball go? Short. If the ball had been placed out in front, it could have been a touchdown. It was a little tight. And I bet you if he dropped back to his proper point, it might have came out a little quicker. But watch, he drops. He's waiting, twisting, falling back, and the ball comes short. He should have been on the hash, but he's drifted over a yard. Eichenberg's getting beaten, but not terribly. But because he drifted over that yard, he can't get the ball off to an open waddle. And now he's got to make the move. He's on the move. Instead of just going upfield and picking up when he can, he tries this. And that's dangerous too. That's not good. And so he drops back. He drops back straight this time. But then at the end of his stem of his route, he moves. He's got to. Jesse Davis is getting beat. And, if he could choose to do that drift when the pressure's there versus just doing it instinctually, that's when he could be very successful. But the problem is he's chosen to throw to the bottom of the screen. The safety's moving to that side. Waddle is doing a go, stop and go, and he's open. You're going to put it up there. Now, Parker catches the football and has an amazing catch. And to his credit, for him to, again, this shows that if we develop him and if he develops himself, he could be pretty good. I mean, look, that's nice, the movement there, the quick reset, and the twist ain't terrible. See that? How other times he twists and falls back, or he twists and he totally spins. He didn't on that one. It was a little bit better, and look at that location. Now, I think he might have missed a read, but still. Now, what happens if he gets that look, take a look at it again. What happens when his passes are more hip-driven, leg-driven than arm-driven? Time. That's why I still believe this kid needs time. Here's the RPO. The running back decides to cut it back. And he picks up a decent amount of yards. But still, Gaskin gets free underneath. I like that. Tua's moving again or whatever, but there's pressure or whatever, but still nice play by Gaskin. Gaskin's looking real good. So then we go to the RPO, and this is a very nice play call. Oh, I love it. See the counter to the wide side, and another nice play design. This is a very nice. I love how Waddle comes in motion and turns around like this. Is very, very nice. Center. And again, you're going to say, oh, the run blocking sucks. But Jakeem goes in motion and totally misses his assignment, the blocking number 21. Tua drops back. He stays pretty strong as far as sitting in the pocket. The protection's pretty good. Now, this is a difficult decision because you probably haven't thrown to Ahmed on flies too much, But I think when he watches the film, it's going to help him. So Ahmed just flashes crazy speed, beats him. If it had been put out in front and a catchable ball, the safety wasn't getting there in time. But, I can see why Tua threw it away. So this is the screen to nowhere. And Gaskin, he had a really good day in some spot, but some was non-Gaskin. She just cut. Instead, he comes back, and that was ugly. Okay, now, from a scheme standpoint, from a play call standpoint, why haven't we seen this? The slants. Remember last year, week 17? He started thriving on these kind of slant plays. We didn't see any of them until we saw the first one with Waddle with the RPO, and then this. This is very nice. This is what again, look at why is he twisting and falling back on a short pass? Because he's totally relying on his upper body. But that play call, they need to add more of that in there. I mean, if you got guys that threaten the deep, pull them in short. It's good for Tua. It's good for the receivers. All right, Gaskin, nice run here. Dita, misses the block, but Gaskin shows some real flashing of potential. Again, this is where I'm saying on this play, it's 3rd and 1. They get a little tricky. That's all right. And this is one of Tua's gifts where he can stop and throw like this. That's one of his gifts. And it was a nice play, but Kinley got down at field, so it was a shame. It was a nice little play design. All right, so on this play, the first responsibility goes to Hunt as far as for failure of this play. We'll point to his pick and all that old stuff as we keep going, but Hunt has done this a couple of times, and he needs to really work on that because it's limiting his play. So we'll see right here. Now, Judon's coming inside. They're doing a stunt. But Hunt's so focused on helping the center, helping Dieter, that he misses 21, Phillips. And because of that, the stunt happens. He's not there for the switch for Davis. Davis has got to ride Judon, which opens up Phillips. Now, Tua goes and he starts getting on the move. Now, I would have liked to see him. It would have been a very difficult play, but to park and just put it out in the front and let that ball, because Judon, he can get that ball off before Judon gets there. But that's a little difficult, okay? And, we can see here, look, he doesn't have the speed or agility to do these kind of things. He's got to understand it. Maybe the hip damage and all these surgeries are limiting him. So, okay, this is a bad situation now. But you're in a 1-point game. You got to either take the sack or just throw it into the ground. You're outside the pocket. This is where the savviness really, he needs that savviness. You can't do this. That's just ugly. All right, so for me, you could see that I just don't feel like the RPO framework. It didn't feel, sometimes it did, but it was hit and miss. I really prefer to see him with the run game, play action. I didn't like the one-read RPOs. Those are things, but the one concern I had that I'm going to focus directly on too is his mechanics. His mechanics in preseason looked great. I did a lot of tape on it. I was like, wow, man, this guy's driving with his hip, this torque, this pop, ball's coming out nice. But this game, his mechanics, for the most part, fell apart. Now, the good of it is it's fixable. People say he doesn't have enough arm strength. He's using his arm. It's the problem. He's using his arm. He's not driving with his lower body. So there's a lot of room for this kid to grow as far as his velocity, accuracy, and ability to to put good catchable balls in proper location if he can refine his mechanics. But he did it in preseason. I just don't know why it fell apart the way it did. But it is fixable. And the RPO, Tua is a mobile quarterback. He's got nice short area movement, but he doesn't have the speed. So defenses don't fear the option on the RPO. And the run game, they don't fear that either. You could see the Patriots, a lot of times they were just saying, okay, if you want to run Tua, run. If you want to rush the football, fine. We're just going to stop the pass. And we kept throwing and throwing and throwing and throwing. And it wasn't successful. And I don't think that's really good for him. Mac Jones' biggest asset over Tua was the run game. It provided consistency, especially for young quarterbacks. It provided the defense something else to focus on, and play action. Play action is such a security blanket to any quarterback. It opens up so much stuff. It opens up the middle of the field because those linebackers get sucked up. And all game long, we attacked deep vertical and horizontal. The middle of the field was left blank, and it was like we never attacked it. So I just got to believe that this staff is going to adjust and change. And we'll have to see. See in week 2, But everything's fixable. It's too early to even really focus on Tua just yet until everything else is ironed out. Now, the mechanics part, that's something to keep your eye on. Because to me, that's the main issue at this moment in time for him personally. But I think there are a lot larger issues at hand than that. So thank you for staying to the end. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate your comments, especially on this. I'm not a guru. I don't try to be a guru. I'm here to present information. I use a lot of stats, analytics, and film. I give you my opinion. I want to hear yours. I'm willing to change. There was one time where Eichenberg was pancaked, and someone shouted out, "Oh, no, you got tripped by Kinley." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't notice that." Yeah, great. I learned, among many other things. This was the most recent. So I appreciate your comments. I respect your comments, and I answered, I think, just about every one. So please comment. And Analytic Boys, they love the subscribing and the liking. It says it keeps us in business. I'm down with that too. And I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, our great sponsors, Ace Per Head, because none of this would happen without them. They just want to let you know you could be your local bookie through their world-class software and get on the action with your friends, family, schoolmates, co-workers, anyone you know. Their software is the way to go. Their company is the best. So I can't have nothing but great things to say about them. So thank you for staying to the end. Catch you next time. Be well, stay faithful and patient, Fin fans, and go Fins!